I felt a little bad another one of these days where you're wearing your sunglasses and then you drive into a rainstorm. I felt a little bad this morning. I didn't bring anybody a video. I was tired, honestly, this morning. I felt fine when I get home, but I have been running the roads pretty heavy over the last week, and it's not stopping today. I left at 6:30 in the morning to go to the Meadows. We'll talk about that in a minute. And the Meadows ended, and now I'm on my way to Ontario. And I think I know the common denominator: the mud. It just zaps the absolute life right out of me. Hate driving the mud so much. And it was the worst kind of mud yesterday in Kentucky because it was muddy, then it was sunny, then you just baked in a rubber suit. I told you guys yesterday that the scuba suit, it was pretty rough. And then today, get to the Meadows, pouring rain, muddy track again, slop, and my nose is full of dirt. Not happy. So yeah, I get up this morning. I was a little bit tired. Made my way over to the Meadows and qualified the horses, schooled Irresistible Sun, trained Melisandre, and now I'm on my way to Ontario. I'm going to race Century Legion. By all accounts, unless the weather is changing, it's going to pour rain tonight in Ontario. So I'm going to get the three-peat. I went through 2 rain suits yesterday in Lexington because when I took the mud suit off the first time, it said it wasn't going to rain for the rest of the day, so I sprayed it all off, put it in a bag, and I was going to bring it home and wash it, and then get hit with another dose. Thankfully, I had another mud suit in the car, and it got dirty. Washed them both, came to the Meadows today, and had to use one today, and have one left for tonight. So I'll drive Century Legion. I was going to come right back, but after being so tired today, you know what? I think I'm just going to rest for the night. I should be back in Guelph by 20 after 8. And I think I'm going to turn in early tonight because tomorrow morning, again, 6:30 rise. They got to come back to the Meadows. Racehorses tomorrow afternoon and racehorses tomorrow night at Northfield Park. Thursday, Meadows. Thursday night, Scioto. I booked off the last 2. I brought Hallie in the Clouds all the way over here and can't even drive her on Thursday. Now, I'll be completely frank with everybody. If she's as good, we changed some shoes, changed some gear. Again, you could tell, stepped on the track at Northfield, and Jason said she just came to life, right? New surroundings, new place, new everything. And sometimes it does shake them up a little bit. And he said she trained very, very well. So Dave Pallone, he does okay. He's going to drive Hallie in the Clouds, and Hunter's going to drive Lonely Lakewood on Thursday afternoon, and I'll stick with the 2 fillies Thursday evening. Friday I'll be at the Meadows, and Saturday I'll be at Scioto, I believe. It would have to be a poor draw in Scioto and a great day, a great draw in the Meadows for me to reverse that. But as of right now, I'd say I'm almost certain to be at Scioto on Saturday night. So let's talk about last night. Partially, I could have been tired because of the way the night finished off. Drebin ran all over the track. I talked to Anthony Hahn briefly. I talked to Dominic. The papers are drawn on Drebin, and he is coming over here. We'll race him at the Meadows next week. He fits numbers 2. So 2 or 3. I'm going to have to check that up. Doesn't matter. The class goes next week. We'll have Dr. Latessa go all over him, see if we're going to make any shoeing changes on him from Mohawk to the Meadows, and then we'll race him at the Meadows next week. It is absolutely still my plan. Anthony Hahn said he's not lame, but he wasn't trotting great. So is it the hard track again? It's possible. Rained and the track was like cement. But I had asked him twice, and he was very clear that it was not lameness. So any sort of issues or holes in the boat, so to speak, we'll patch those up next week best we can and race him at the Meadows, and I suspect he'll come out swinging again. Another horse has never really been out of Canada, right? Not really. Has never been out of Canada. Never even been to a B track. Has always just hung out at Mohawk. Now he's getting on a truck, shipping 4.5 hours, going to Northfield, training at Northfield, then getting on a truck and going to the Meadows. Life is about to get very exciting for Drebin over the next few weeks, and I hope that he responds in accordance to that. So he made a break. There's not much I can do. You got to turn the page and move forward after something like that happens. Great bet race, good. I was happy with the bounce back performance. Jason, I think Hunter maybe felt bad a little bit too, the way that the filly got raced the other night. Being off 3 weeks, and Jason had just said to him last night, hey, this colt's coming off the virus. He's been on the front a lot. Maybe race him covered up. That's exactly what he did. Put him on the front, and the favorite removed. Billy removed with the favorite, and great bet. I don't know how fast he paced, 54 and 4, 55, but he looked very, very good doing it. A great spot for him in there so far. Save America raced great. I just left him. He was at the Meadows. He shipped out this morning to the Meadows, jumped a ride on our truck back from the Meadows to Northfield Park, where he'll hook up with Rock Shining Star. The perfect plan would be to have them back. Now, I was just about to say school them both on Friday, but that would be a little tough on Save America. He raced on Monday, shipped all week, and then it's not fair to him to do that. Kirby likely won't be leaving until Sunday morning. I still got to talk to him about leaving, actually. Sunday morning for PEI, and if that takes place, then we could potentially train him a mile and a half on Saturday and come back with another stiff mile and a half of PEI maybe on Wednesday or so. Or he may train a fast mile in Charlottetown also. But schooling him would be unfair. Rock Shining Star, on the other hand, he will school on Friday at Mohawk. That's my plan, anyway. So Great America raced awesome, finished third, closing in hard at the wire. I thought the horse looked very, very good. Brace for Landing, he's just not a 51 trotter. I can't be upset with Brace for Landing for getting his energy zapped. It was used hard in the first quarter of a mile. Chris thought he was going to drive over in front of Tyler easy. Tyler filled the hole. Then he had a tough time getting in front of Jody. I think Jody maybe actually shot him the hole, which thank you for that. And then he just came up a little bit flat. But going in 51 in front of him doesn't take long, to turn a horse off. Turn a 53 trotter off, yeah, it's easy. You go 51 or 52 in front of them. And that's exactly what happened to Brace last night. We did scope him just to make sure. Dominic said moderate mucus, no blood, which is good. Truthfully, he may need a week off. I think this is 4 or 5 weeks in a row he's raced. I'll double check his card and talk to Dom, but maybe a week off might not hurt this guy either. And then all gas, no brakes. I really thought Tyler let that guy blast out of there a little bit last night. I just hate the way that happens at Mohawk. He starts up, second over, trying to flush the horse in front of him, which maybe was his first mistake. Tried to flush the horse in front of him getting into the last turn, or maybe he was just out anyway. I have no idea. I assume he was just out anyway. And everybody just puts it neutral for about an eighth of a mile and just lets everybody file out in front of them. So a nice second over trip turns into a fourth or fifth over, it seemed like. He fanned wide and was eighth. I think eighth beat, a length for third? Not really the race I envisioned for all gas, no brakes. And, I expect the horse to be raced a little harder than that. Now, I know he was 10-1, but, I think he was a contender in that class. And it's just the way the race shook out. There's not much we can do about that. Hopefully James can drive him next week. And, we'll get him raced. And then, as I said, got up this morning, came over here to the Meadows, trained Melisandre. It was a muddy track when we went. I went a mile and 2, 4 and 4 with her. And Tim had a double medal, an open pacer. But the mile was good for Melisandre. I was very happy with her. She's schooled great. She's trotting great. She looked great. She can probably be, what I'd like to do is maybe give her a week and qualify her. Maybe not this Tuesday coming, but the following Tuesday. She's trained hard now 4 weeks in a row, real hard. Or I could just put her into qualifying and continue on with her. I was happy with her today. Do I see 57 in her future right away? No. But she's getting better. I had a great conversation with Steve. I know sometimes when I talk, people think there's, hidden messages in there. And maybe subliminally maybe there is. Subconsciously, there is maybe. Maybe I don't mean to sound cryptic sometimes, and I do. I think Melisandre is coming along nicely. Overall, I'm not concerned with her overall ability. I haven't seen the bottom of her, nor have I looked for it. But do I see her trotting in 57 next week? No, I don't. I don't think I see her trotting in 57 next week. I'd like to see her qualify in 2 minutes, 2-1. But then again, it's getting a little thin, right? We qualified our other horses today. They're all in with aged horses. Do we want that? So we'll see. We'll see how that shakes out. I haven't made my mind up there. I'm going to talk about Irresistible Son and the age source first, because there's a lot to unpack with the other the two-year-olds. Irresistible Son, school, great. The guy had asked me how much you want to go. He said, he was going in 55 and that guy was going in 210. So I trotted out of there with the 55 horse, then just let him pace away from me. I went a mile in probably 59 or 2 minutes. I don't know exactly, because I looked down at the corner. I must have punched the button twice, and it was at 3 seconds. So his last half was in 58 and 4. He was very strong, looked very good. We got out of today's schooler exactly what we wanted out of there. I wish it wasn't muddy. I wish the track was better, but it was what it was. And obviously, Delicious Stone DK was very good under scope after they found a big nasty ulcer on his palate. Not much we can do about that right now. That won't keep him at our next week's race at all, but something we have to work on and look at. And Tim said, where do you want to race him? I said, he's got too much money made last 4. Put him in a claimer. I don't know what claimer. I don't know where we're going to find a claimer for him, but he needs to go in a claimer. So we'll see. And quite frankly, that could be anywhere from 10 to 20. I held him back pretty good today, and for no other reason than I just did not want to release him. I didn't want to stretch him out even in the least. It was a good qualifier from him today. He must have tried it in 59 or so, and I thought the horse looked really, really good. So I was happy with Melisandre. I was happy with the Irresistible Son. I was really happy with Delicious Stone DK. Now we get to the other two. I warmed up What a Lady, What a Night, and she did not feel the same at all. Now, why? Now remember, last week she made a break, so we had a very strong warm-up into her before she schooled. Did that play a role? She was shod a couple of days before that. Were her feet bothering her? Did she need a set of flip-flops? Was it the shoes? Was it the weight? Couldn't quite put my finger on it, but she wasn't great. Went out of there with her. She was pacey. She was a little bit rough. She was trying her hardest to do her work. I don't want to paint a negative picture of her, because today was not the horse that I schooled the other day. Now, this might come into play in a minute or two, but I told you I went a half in 57 and 3 with her the other day. I went a half with her. Now, to be fair, neither half resembled that half last week of her qualifier today. But one thing was found. So I had 2 things. Firstly, I moved her at the quarter pole, and I'm unapologetic for that. I'll tell you when I make a mistake, but she was just so rough and pacey. I couldn't risk her making a break. So I moved her over to the front. She walked, didn't qualify good, but got qualified. And it wasn't until later I figured out why, and it was when we scoped her. She had blood, lots of it. Blood and mucus. And quite frankly, more blood than you would suspect you would find from mucus. So one of 2 things happened. Either she bled last week and it compounded throughout the week, which contributed or attributed to her blood today. We're talking 3 out of 5, or as they say over here, a 6 out of 10. Maybe she said 4 out of 10. I can't remember. It was a lot anyway. She told me it was plenty. The telling part was she said it was more than she would expect to see given the mucus she found. That was the most important thing. Well, how did it get there? Why did it get there? And what are we going to do about it? New Chicago Holland Lasix is not really, it still is a tough thing to do to put a 2-year-old on Lasix, especially one that's never raced before. Not something I want to do. And I think so. A lot, as you can tell, was going on this morning. Her mechanics did not come from her blood. 33 on the end of it, that came from blood. Mechanics did not come from blood. Why was she so rough and out of gear today? That I'm going to have to mull over and talk to Tim some more about. Ask him his thoughts. It wasn't interference. There wasn't a mark on her pulling up, and I'm watching her the whole way. So it wasn't interference. It wasn't roughness. I guess what we need to do is have the veterinarian over here. Actually, she went back to Northfield. Jason shipped 4 back. So have Dr. Latessa go over her now. Here's the rain again. Jesus. have Dr. Latessa go over her in Ohio, see what he thinks, and train her hard before we send her out to gym, and go from there. That's the plan with What a Lady, What a Night. As you can tell, I was very disappointed with her trip, but you can't blame a horse that's bleeding, right? Why would a 2-year-old bleed like that? That is going to be the $1 million question that I'm going to try my hardest to answer over the next few days. For now, she's qualified. We didn't break rule number 1. We got the job done. We got her qualified. Was it pretty? No. Was it anywhere near what I thought? Absolutely not. But she's qualified. Now, the Priest has always had an okay gait, big, strong engine, has some ability, but doesn't use it to the best of his ability. We've seen it time and time again before, though. When we scoped him, there was mucus, so there was always a reason he was poor, weak, flat. There's always a reason. Warmed him up today. He seemed fine. Got away in the 2-hole. Sure, we were going a mile and 59 2 minutes, but why can't he pace? Why can't he trot there? It's been between 2-1 and 2-3 half a dozen times. Why couldn't he trot in 59? 33 on the end of it. Now, after they were done scoping What a Lady, What a Night, and told me there was blood, I was pretty concerned. What is this? I was pretty concerned that he bled also. But sadly, he did not. I say sadly because there was nothing found in the scope that would lead me to believe there was an issue. So pretty disappointed. You know, we talk about green glitter, and we talk about Enzo and horse that did small tanks, small gas tanks, and fizzled out quick. Had ability, but fizzled out. There's probably more horses that are like that than the other way, for sure. But it's frustrating. It's a frustrating feeling. So we'll draw the Priest blood tomorrow, but I can assure you, if nothing comes back from that, that will be the last time we go with the Priest. He'll be on his way out. LT Troubadour is going to join him. We can pretend all we want that these horses are going to be competitive at some point. There are horses that have legitimate vices, that have issues, that have problems right now that they're trying to get past. But there is the last part of that sentence is the important part, that they're trying to get past. When that changes to they're not trying, they don't really care that much, they don't want to go forward, whether I like the horse or not. I thought LT Troubadour was going to be a sire stake horse. As we got close to qualifying, I just thought he was going to be a really good Buckeye horse. Good horse. Instead, he isn't right now. He might be next year, but he isn't right now. And when you combine that with a very suspect attitude and work ethic, not really the horses we're looking for, and that is almost a carbon copy of the Priest. So as I say that, I suspect you're not going to find anything in his blood tomorrow. And at that point, we're going to have to ask ourselves, what are we doing? You know, I had Enos, our blacksmith. His kids got 4 or 5 kids. I don't know, maybe 15 kids. I don't know. And he's always looking to buy the horses like that. He's the one that bought Granite Hill. He bought a couple other horses off us. We're like the Ford dealership for his family, I think. So Enos was asking about LT Troubadour and the Priest. And LT Troubadour, I think we are going to sell. The Priest, we'll see. His fate lies in a vial of blood tomorrow. Because once they run that blood, if it comes back good, that'll be it for the Priest. We just don't have enough time to be dealing with horses that don't want to do their work, especially when we're surrounded with horses that do want to do their work and work their butts off. So that's where we're at with those two horses. Anyway, I did want to.